right there is how you play incredibly below average golf.
Welcome into OverPar here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, the YouTube channel. Matt Miguez here. The Waste Management Phoenix Open taking place this weekend at TPC Scottsdale. Usually falls on Super Bowl weekend, and it is just as big of a party out on the West Coast as the Super Bowl will be here in New Orleans this Sunday night. We're going to talk about the Phoenix Open here in just a little bit. I want to start this episode of OverPar talking about TGL. And if you're unfamiliar, that is the golf league that has been on ESPN for the last couple of weeks. It is backed by Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. It is an indoor simulator-style golf competition with tons of technology. They shoot off of real grass into a screen, and then that's where the simulator aspect comes in. And you know, if it lands in the bunker, there's a sand pit for you to shoot out of. When it gets to the green, there's a green behind them that they putt on. It's really fantastic if you haven't watched it. Tiger's a part of it. Rory's a part of it. Justin Thomas is a part of it. Colin Morikawa, Max Homa. Tons of great names in the world of golf today are a part of it. Big athletes have funded it. Alex Morgan is a partial owner. Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, he is a part of it as well. Just a really, really cool event that airs once a week over on ESPN, so you got to check that out if you haven't already. But no, getting back to the Waste Management Phoenix Open, a really great course over in Scottsdale, TPC Scottsdale. It is, of course, 18 holes. It is a par 71, right at 7,261 yards. It opens up with a 403-yard par 4, followed by a 442-yard par 4. Number 3 is a little bit of a monster at 558. And then par 4 is the first par 3, 183 yards. 3 sand traps surround the green. So that's an interesting little challenge there in the front 9. And then you get to the back 9, and that's where things kind of start to get interesting. Hole 11 is where water first comes into play. A 472-yard par 4, par 3, number 12, 192 yards. There's water on that one as well. And then you've got 15, 16, 17, which is just a beautiful stretch of golf. A long par 5 at 553 yards, 2 sand traps, and water surround, kind of an island green of sorts. And then 16 is the stadium hole, where everybody tries to get a hole-in-one. The fans are crazy. They throw beer everywhere. It's just a really great time on hole number 16. It's always fun to watch that backstretch kind of play out at TPC Scottsdale. Let's look at some of the tee times and who's in the field for this tournament that's going to get underway tomorrow. J.J. Spahn teeing off at 8:31. K.H. Lee, Kevin Kistner teeing off at 8:31 as well. But the first real big line of golfers is going to be at 8:53 with Nick Dunlap, Justin Thomas, and Luke Clanton is the amateur in that group. At 9:04, Nick Taylor, Hideki Matsuyama, and Jordan Spieth tee off. And, of course, all these times are central. Sepp Straka, Sam Burns, and Sanjay at 9:15. Going further down the list, let's see here. Into the afternoon, a good group at 1:33 with Matt McCarty, Aske Beata, and Wyndham Clark, Max Homa, Tom Kim, and Scotty Scheffler, the world number 1, teeing off at 1:45. Billy Horschel, Sahith Theegala, and Ricky Fowler teeing off just 10 minutes after that. Look, what's going to be interesting, Robert McIntyre, the former McNeese golfer, also in that group, teeing off at 2:06. Matthew Pavon, who had a really good run at the PGA Championship last year, he's teeing off at 2:17, along with Davis Riley. What's really going to be interesting is how weather kind of plays in. It's a beautiful day today over in Phoenix, 65 degrees, winds are light, but can that keep up throughout the weekend? That's going to be the key, right? Can Scotty Scheffler kind of shake the rust off? I know he played at Pebble Beach this past week and played fairly well, but can he continue that? And on the flip side of that, one thing that's interesting, if you look at this list, there's no Rory McIlroy. Now, he's taken the week off after winning at Pebble Beach. But this is an event that I'm a little surprised that Rory decided to sit out. I really thought that Rory would try to play in this one. So interested to see, kind of how the field attacks the early start to the year by Rory, and how they kind of take advantage of his absence this week in Phoenix. So it's really going to be fun to watch that one. Of course, everything gets underway tomorrow on ESPN Plus at 8:15. And then as you get into the weekend is when you'll start to see more of the national coverage of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel here at ESPN Southwest Louisiana. You can follow us on social media at ESPN_SWLA. We'll be back next week to recap the Waste Management Phoenix Open as we get into this big swing of spring golf. We'll talk Genesis Invitational next week, which is going to be played at a new course this year. I'll give you all those details next week here on OverPar.